What's up, Thenx athletes? It's Chris Heria. Today I wanted to present a question that you might have wondered. Can women train as hard as men? I'm going to hit the streets and ask people what they think. But first, let's see what the latest research has to say. Now, first off, what does it even mean to train hard? Training hard is when you're pushing your threshold or limits, and that can refer to more than just lifting heavier or running faster or further, but also includes decreasing rest, increasing tempo, increasing reps, and even using a greater range of motion. Now, obviously, there are differences in anatomy and physiology of men and women. Both men and women build strength and muscle through the same process, being a progressive overload and muscle hypertrophy. However, men can generally build twice the total muscle mass that women can due to men having a larger skeletal system and hormones like testosterone. This means on average, men will be stronger than women, though of course there will be outliers. Because of women having significantly less muscle mass in comparison to men, studies have actually shown when comparing men and women in top performance sports, some women had to train even harder than their male counterparts to achieve a similar goal in a given sport or activity. But how much of training hard is mental? Regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, talent or talentless, before you even lift a finger, the signal needs to be sent from your brain to do so. This is why no matter how capable you may be, nothing will work for you if you don't put in the work yourself. And that's why a strong mentality is absolutely necessary for training hard. In fact, some would even say training hard is only 10% physical and 90% mental. Obviously, everyone has different genetics, but anyone male or female can train hard and achieve whatever fitness goals they set, aesthetically or performance. And if you need help achieving your fitness goals, whether it's getting shredded or building muscle, go ahead and download the Thenx app in the App Store or hit the link in the description below. Now, knowing what it means to train hard, which is pushing your limits but also having a strong mental and willpower, we definitely know women can absolutely train as hard as men, and in some cases, even harder. But let's hit the streets and ask people their opinions. Can women train as hard as men? What does training hard mean to you?
I feel like being in the best mindset and giving it your all.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
I believe so. I think she trains harder than me sometimes.
Do you think women can train as hard as men?
Definitely. We could do the same workouts.
What does training hard mean?
Training hard means having hard work and dedication and being consistent.
To me, it means putting in your best effort. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to lift the most weight, as long as you're making the effort to show up for yourself and go to the gym.
How much of training hard is physical versus mental?
I would say take the mental part out of it and just focus on being consistent. The only thing mental is about eating healthy.
Do you think women can train as hard as men?
100%.
Maybe we won't get as big, but I think we can.
Do you think women can train as hard as men?
Oh yeah.
Of course, no question.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely can.
Personally, I just feel like women do train harder than men. I feel like women put in 105% and males put in maybe 50%.
Women are mentally stronger. We just do more.
We can have a baby. Y'all can't do that.
A lot of people talk about training hard, so I want to get your opinion on what training hard really is.
I think it's more towards consistency. If you put in the right amount of work over and over again, day after day, and you'll get results regardless of your skill level, etc.
Para mí es superarse y no tener límites.
Just being better than the person I was yesterday.
We're getting down to the bottom of this. I was just wondering, what does training hard mean to you?
It means feeling your best self, also looking your best self.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
Totally. There shouldn't be a gender to a workout. You just put your energy to it and you do it and just give it your all.
Do you think women can train as hard as men?
He tells me that every day.
Sí, todo es mental, todo está en la cabeza. Si tú te crees capaz, lo haces.
I want to know what your opinion is on training hard.
In my opinion, I think it's that feeling when you're done. When you've pushed everything to exhaustion, you feel like you really spent everything you had, and then that way the next time you go, you can push yourself just a little bit harder, and then keep making gains like that every day.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
I think they could probably train harder. Men are a little bit more responsible with their time. I always find women to be a little bit more rested, have better diets, more routine. I think that's a bad stigma if that even exists. My girlfriend's up at 8:30 at the gym working out before I'm awake.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I train harder than men all the time.
I'm here with the Miami Beach local legend, Raven. I've seen you training hard for years, every day.
Yep.
What does it mean to train hard to you?
It's a lifestyle.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
I believe so. Maybe harder.
How much of training hard do you think is mental versus
A
physical?
lot of it's mental. It's easy to quit, but the mind keeps you going.
What would you say to people that think that women can't train as hard as men?
I would think they probably don't know much about training hard themselves.
I think those types of opinions are outdated. Anything a guy can do, a woman can do too.
What do you guys have to say to people that think that women can't train as hard as men?
It's bullshit. There's no gender, there's no age, there's no whatever.
Just do it and then you'll show them.
And there's real life examples. Serena Williams, Alex Morgan.
So everyone's talking about training hard. I just saw you training hard on the bars. What do you think training hard really means?
Just to give your all and to be consistent about it. Not give up after the first failure. Keep at it and give your best.
It means giving yourself a goal and hitting it, feeling good about yourself, and giving yourself another goal.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
Yeah, on intensity level, yeah. Maybe they're not going to achieve the same skills, like I'm trying to do the back lever, for example. Not as fast, but on on intensity level, yeah, anybody can train as intense as everybody else.
How much of training hard do you think is mental versus physical?
I think it's mostly mental. I'd say like 75-25. Obviously, you got to be able to do some things physically, but really, like, it's when you feel pain, when you feel exhaustion, it's your mind that pushes you forward.
I'd say training is like 70% mental, 30% physical. Genetics plays a role, but at the end of the day, you know, you start at the bottom and you have to push yourself to the top.
It's definitely mental, 100% mental.
I think mental too, because like I said, obviously it's physically taxing, but you have to have dedication. You have to make the decision to show up.
I think the mental part is gonna unlock all of your physical capabilities. So if you've got this right on, your body's gonna follow.
Si entrenas tu mente, vas a obtener los resultados físicos.
How much of training do you think is like mental versus physical?
It starts with the mental. You know, you get into the right mindset and you just, you know, keep up believing yourself.
60-40, I think. 60 mindset and 40 physical.
Do you think women can train as hard as men?
Absolutely. There's no like limit or no rules to like how hard you can train. We have different feats, but at the end of the day you can train hard, yeah.
Los hombres entrenan totalmente diferente a las mujeres, porque por lo general los hombres se enfocan más que todo es en la parte superior del cuerpo y las mujeres en la parte inferior.
What do you think training hard means?
Just giving it your all. It's a lot more than just training. You got to have a right diet.
Para mí entrenar duro es constancia, perseverancia, dedicarle tiempo.
How much of training hard do you think is mental versus physical?
Oh, it's all mental, 100%. Because in the end, training hard for me is not training hard for you. Like, it could be a walk for an older person. It could be a high-intensity workout for a younger person. It could be anything.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
I think anyone can train hard.
Para mí los dos.
Oh my God.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Can I give you like a hug?
Of course.
It's so nice to meet you.
I was gonna ask you guys, we wanted to get people's definition of training hard.
I mean, to me, training hard, it's a whole lifestyle.
It's all about really discipline. You know, if you really want it, get it.
Do you think that women can train as hard as men?
Absolutely. We can put as much as men can put into it.
How much of training hard do you think is physical versus mental?
A lot of it is mental, but once you overcome those barriers, you start working out, it actually feels great. It feels amazing. It's almost like therapy.
I would say mental because if I'm angry, I go 1,000 times harder.